Lupin III Part 6 Season 2 has just went underway by debuting episode 13 on Saturday, January 8th, An Invitation from the Past. With the same great opening in tow with a different color change, we are introduced to the mystery behind Tomoe. For those that do not know or haven't watched the Season 2 teaser trailer, you can also watch my video on the second teaser trailer breakdown. Tomoe is Lupin's mother. The mystery pertaining to why she's in the spotlight and why that gives Lupin so much grief and surprise. I would think it isn't easy to surprise the legendary Phantom Thief's grandson, but yet Lupin isn't always the sharpest guy at times. Also, if you enjoy my content, please don't forget to subscribe, as I enjoy doing this as a hobby and would like to continue making stuff like this for you guys to enjoy. The episode begins with a flash into the future, as these events are explored with additional scenes to further flesh out as to what is going on and why Lupin is suddenly fighting a bunch of women that look exactly the same. It helps build the suspense around these women and what threat they pose, especially since they mention that Lupin III will be coming to an end. Very interesting intro to the next season, as it allows us to be filled in a bit as an audience but not get the entire picture until we get to the main event as to when that occurs. Filling us in more throughout the episode helps us piece together things bit by bit, which helps keeps us interested. Not saying this is overly complicated to piece together, but what is Lupin without a little mystery? I tend to always think about what Lupin is doing next or what the events that will transpire will do to the overall situation, as there are times things aren't what they seem to be. Another big part of the series is the cute interactions that happen between our main cast. We tend to see it from time to time throughout the many parts in the series, but I felt as though we lacked a bit throughout the first season, where our characters lack some sort of external personality outside of what they normally are. Seeing Jigen cook and Lupin being lazy thanks to Lupin winning a game of cards is just like them and is no different to how they acted in like part 4 when they were in their hideout in Italy and had to go get breakfast when Lupin ruined it. This is what I love about Lupin and his gang, especially Papa Jigen cooking up some delicious octopus spaghetti. Then they bring it all back into focus when Fujiko brings a new heist idea for an auction holding an abundance of treasure, where one Chaos Emerald looking jewel is set to be on auction. This one jewel brings Lupin out of his laziness into action, as it is a jewel that his grandfather, the ever-famous Arsène Lupin, stole and kept in an extremely guarded vault until it was broken into and stolen among other things. The person who stole it wasn't named, but it added an extra layer of tension for a multitude of reasons. First off, stealing from the Arsène Lupin vault is no small feat. Only the best of the best can manage that. But also, this has many personal ties with Lupin, conflicting ties at that. He plans to bring the jewel back for the sake of his grandfather to uphold his legacy, but we soon find out that it's his mom who did it, and apparently she has long since been dead. How did she die? We don't know, but the mystery around Lupin's mother continues to overwhelm us bit by bit. This could be the case of that maybe she stole the treasure as a master thief herself and somehow got entangled and fell in love with Lupin II, Lupin's dad. Or Lupin's mom could have betrayed the Lupin family after Lupin was born and stole the treasure from the vault. Even a bit of me thinks that Tomoe isn't Lupin's biological mother and just so happens to be a woman who has taken up the title, keeping her true self hidden just like Lupin has. Regardless of all my speculation, there is so much to go off of for this one plot point, and it makes me super excited, since at the end of it all, Lupin plans to take back what rightfully is his. As we progress, we see Zenigata and Yada scoping out the auction house and beginning to ramp up security, which gives Lupin the idea he needs to pull off his next heist. I also find scenes like this enjoyable, as we are taken along for the ride to see how Lupin scopes things out, being disguised, and how he's able to adapt into any current situation, along with the opposite end with Zenigata on how they try to prevent Lupin from coming through despite how fruitless it tends to be. Lupin deciding on using the power of flowers to execute his plan, since he saw a lot of them throughout the auction house. He interacts with a young lady at a flower shop to inform her about her lovely flowers, wanting to buy bouquets, which he uses to liven the hideout, which is quite nice, but Jigen doesn't really approve. Weirdest part of this simple yet seemingly unimportant transaction is the spontaneous decision of the young flower lady leaving another job just to sell and deliver flowers within a short span of time of the upcoming auction. This could definitely be something, or I'm just overthinking. We shall see. Something as complex as creating many insect drones to hide away in the flowers that are delivered over to the auction house is something a bit more on the safer side here. As Lupin states himself, he sees himself going back to the basics. Lupin tends to be a bit more reckless or very skillful in his pursuits to steal whatever he wishes. Although the insect drones are not easy to make as they are very time consuming, it doesn't fit within either role here. Creating illusions of vanished items instead of his usual more forward approach tends to be more vulnerable if, say, an outside force were to interfere, which definitely happens in this case as we see the group of red-haired women charge on through, destroying the illusions and stealing all of the treasure. Now, before I continue, I would love to quickly mention that I love the new eye catchers for this season of the show. I love the first season set with the new art style and just pure style oozing out of that. And these new ones are so much better because it's still with that amazing style, but it features everyone in some form of another. That is definitely a plus. To continue. The explosion itself may have been intentional on destroying the insect drones, or it could have been by pure coincidence. But it seems that there is a person working within the inside that isn't showing off more than they should. A black-haired lady in the seats may possibly be affiliated with this group. It may even be Tomoe herself. I didn't initially think this woman was Fujiko Mine, but then shortly after we did see her cut the lights out to execute the plan completely undisguised. So there is clearly more to this woman than meets the eye. And the same goes for every single woman we see during the whole fight scene with Lupin against the red-haired woman organization, or the Reds, I'll call them for now. We have seen many, if not all of these women in the teaser trailer for season 2, so they must play a much larger role somehow, including Ari, a woman that is on Zenigata's side, but also seems to be getting a lot more screen time than she should for a background character. I will put a pin in that for later. Again, we will see along with everything else. Unfortunately, Lupin's heist ends with him not obtaining the treasure he was after from the get-go, as he had to play Spider-Man and save the flower girl from being killed by rubble from a falling building thanks to the Reds. The additional scenes that are added in compared to the beginning are the main fact that the jewel is present, the flower girl being injured due to these circumstances, and the signature line from the trailer. I forgot about that. The additional scenes that are added in compared to the beginning are that the jewel is present, that the flower girl is seen being injured due to the circumstances, and the signature line from the trailer, for someone who sought instruction from Tomoe, you sure are a letdown. And of course, informing Jigen that Tomoe is Lupin's missing mother. The tension is high with mystery and intrigue, since we are now left with so many questions and so little answers. How are these women affiliated with Lupin's mom? How do they know of their relationship? Why are they specifically after that jewel? Who is a friend and who is the foe? And where does it all go from here? Hopefully, we will see soon in the next episode. Overall, episode 1 was a great start to the new season with the new plot, since it still uses the same old Lupin charm, but adding in that mysterious and serious tone thanks to the plot around Lupin's childhood, which is something we know very little to nothing about. At this point, I feel like we are right alongside Lupin, as we, the audience, and him are standing side by side looking for these answers, since this is something far more personal than we've ever seen before. Even thinking outside of just Lupin, I am looking forward to how Jigen, Goemon, Fujiko, and Zenigata may react. They usually accept whatever person Lupin may be, but Lupin has so many secrets hidden that he hasn't shared with them, and that could change anything about the relationship at any time. I don't know if Lupin's mom will do that, but there is the possibility with this plot being in the forefront now. But what do you guys think? Did you enjoy the first episode? And did you think it was better than the first episode of the last season? Or do you possibly have any theories for the upcoming future? What didn't you like about the first episode? Leave any and all questions down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, farewell.